that's when it got worse. So that's when he's obviously had a chat to defence. Or had Christian must have had a meeting with defence. And defence called me. It was Stuart Lane. He was running the base at the time, and he's asked me for an interview. For a meeting. So whether it would be here at my house, or I can come on base, or wherever I so choose. So I asked him to meet us here on this lounge and meet me here. I asked him to be out of uniform in an unmarked car because I didn't want the community worried or afraid. They're starting to get afraid of these people. So he turned up and we sat for hours and he said, "What do you want, Colin? What can I do to sort this out and make you happy?" So I ran through for hours, step by step, what I wanted and what I felt like getting my children's health care looked after for the rest of their lives. They're being brought up with contaminated water. Nicole and myself, I wanted the like for like, this house somewhere else. So in a close vicinity, not in Dalkeith or any, I wasn't after money. I just wanted what life I had here, somewhere else, with clean water. We went down the list, and I could probably find it for you. And we got to the end, and we hung out at the bar there for a bit. And I had a beer, and he had a chat. I gave him a gift, and he said, "Look, I don't think that there'll be an issue. I think we're going to be able to handle this for you, Colin. I'm going to stay up all night and type. This is about 8 o'clock at night by then. I'm going to type this out tonight, get it over to Canberra, and I reckon you'll have an answer by the morning." So I walked him down, and we went out to the front lawn there, and we're saying our last goodbyes. And I said, "You do realise that I want this written up for every community member in this contaminated area, and I'll be the last one to leave." And that didn't sit very well.
Just when he thought he'd found an easy way out. And it shows you the nature of these people, that you being the loudest one that's shouting about this and trying to get some action, is they come to you and their solution is, "We'll give you whatever you want and buy you out, as long as you sell out the rest of the community." Probably say nothing about it and just disappear overnight. Here's your money, see you later.
That didn't sit well with myself. And then what didn't sit well with me mentally, again playing on my mental health, and I've learnt that we all, as men and women, need to start talking about this, about ourselves and our feelings.
Yeah.
Now, I went back into Nicole and I told her what I did, and my wife's so supportive of whatever I choose to do, and I'm supportive of her decisions as well in life. And for months after, even now, I wonder, did I make the right decision? I made the right decision for the community, but did I, Chris, make the right decision for my children? If my Duke or Piper come up to me one day and when they're 14, 15, because this bioaccumulative chemical is building up in our systems, right? So if he comes to me when he's 15 and says, "Dad, why am I dying of leukemia?" Then what am I to say to my son, Chris? Am I meant to say, "Well, it's because Dad didn't take a big offer and sacrificed your life for our community"?
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen, but I can fully understand where you're coming from. And to be honest with you, I don't know what I would have done. I like to think I would have done what's good for everyone, but you don't know, you know what I mean? Most people, I think, would just see that as an easy end, a way to get out, which is perfectly understandable when you're already in this, with the amount of time and effort and energy that you put into it. To see an easy way out, I think most would have jumped at that, and
right. And no one's to blame that have left, and no one's to blame that have stayed, and it's.
So are you aware of the RAF base buying out anyone else, making them similar offers to this? So they have gone around quietly individually approaching people
Yes, sir.
and seeing whether they can get them to just go on quietly. And so then obviously with a class action suit then, which these people, they're always moves ahead. They would have known that this was going to come and that this was the final outcome. So anyone that they can buy out now obviously isn't going to be signed up for the suit. So in one way it sort of reduces the numbers of people left here to fight it. And so obviously you don't have all the information, and we're not quoting this as being exact, but what would you say is a rough number on say people who have been bought out by the base already? Is it 2, 10, 20, 50?
Wow. At a guess, over the 30 years, maybe $5 million worth of land. At a guess.
5 million worth of land. So not a lot then, say, in terms of property value. Maybe
30 years ago,
15,
a lot of
20.
that happened. It was land was a lot cheaper.
So they got in there early.
Yeah.
When they could.
They got the big farms and the big land here, and gave them not much for it, and then obviously said to them, well, look, you can stay on the land and just lease it off us for a small fee for the rest of your lives. So
that's what's happened with the farm that's literally your fence backs onto here. He's on a lease to the RAF base.
Yeah, that's correct. So Defence sort of muscled their way in back 30 years ago.
Yeah, because he owned all this land.
Yeah,
and they basically demanded they sell the RAF base most of the land.
For legal reasons, I can't tell you too much. But basically, they muscle people out like they tried to do with me, Chris. And they make it look good. I mean, when they were here, I mean, if I hadn't grown up in Defence and understood their way, and I'm not saying this to big note myself, but I'm not afraid of their uniforms and I'm not afraid of their stance. Mm-hmm. And I'll say that because I believe that's why police and people that are put out there to protect us wear uniforms, because we are to look up to them and for them to keep us safe. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So when you got, say for instance, their bullying tactics again, coming over to bringing their contractors to test the balls. There's 2 contractors testing the balls, but there's 2 Defence personnel in uniform. Why do they need to be at someone's house in uniform? Yeah. And over the 4 years, there was men and women in this town ringing us saying, they're coming to my house, I don't want them here, or I'm afraid, what do I do, Colin? So, I'd have to send, because I'm at work, sometimes I'd have to send Nicole, my wife, with 2 kids
into these situations
so she could just stand there and support these landowners, just so Nicole could just stand there and sort of support them, because and the way that you're standing there with your arms crossed, that's why the military will stand there like that, just looking at Nicole, trying to intimidate Nicole. As in, what are you doing here? Well, Nicole can be there, I can be there.
Alright, and just a real quick backup. So this land that they've acquired back over the last 30 odd years, a lot of it they got a long time ago, do they still own that land? Have they sold any of it on that you know of? Is that land now inhabited after they've bought it back, knowing it's contaminated? Like, how does all that work?
Okay, so there's been one house in particular that was bought. A gentleman, he was a builder 30 years ago, and he built this property and built it, very strong and big verandas around it. You can imagine, put a lot of money into it because he's a builder. And he can get it done cheap. All his mates chipped in. Yeah. And Defence came and said, no, we want you to leave. And he couldn't understand why. But in talking to this gentleman, he was of strong character and he made them pay. Yeah. He said, well, if you're going to take my house, you're going to pay a lot of money. And Defence paid him a lot of money. Yeah, so, speaking with him over the last few months, he's left that behind, but he's very concerned about our plight here. For him, that was 30 years ago. He got a big payout and he moved on. Now it's funny. I'll answer your question. Defence put one of their personnel in that house to live. A rough family.
So it's not good enough for a civilian family. They've bought the property back, and then just housing. It shows you that this level of contempt and disrespect is not so much just for the community, but it's directed at their own employees too. They've let them stay on that base, showering in this water, digging holes in the dirt that's being watered with this water that can now get airborne. That they show no even concern for their own people.